cool. I have some Coke. It looks like a prawn pasta. This is my leftover okra pasta, actually. I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay. It's looking delicious. It's looking creamy. I wonder if it's spicy, but I'm not really looking for spice. I'm just looking for like what flavor does it have. Let's taste. Thanks, Abby. This is what it looks like. The only flavor I'm getting is habanero. And not in a spice way, but in a flavor way. But I'm getting the creaminess also. It does taste more like a pasta with white sauce. I don't get any of the okra that's in there. I don't get any of the lentils. That's okay. Do you pray before you eat? If you notice me close my eyes before I take a bite, it's usually me doing that. What a satisfying way to end off what started with okra stew, which became okra pasta, which became this. How's the chow? Delicious. It reminds me of in Greytown, the town that I grew up in. There's a supermarket called Ayers. And I'm not sure about you, but sometimes in these towns, there's like one. There are a bunch of supermarkets, but there's one place that people talk about. Ayers is one of those places. Growing up, they made this pasta bake with white sauce, green pepper, and cheese. It's reminding me of that. It's reminding me of that pasta. I buy this one because sometimes it's one serving, I think. Sometimes it's two. So I don't buy a 2 liter because I don't want to be drinking it for a long time. So I buy it for when I'm just craving it. Did you cook this? Yes, I did. So impressive how oat flour works just as well. What would make this better? Mushrooms, definitely. Onion powder, garlic powder, green pepper. What time do you plan on sleeping today? I took a nap from 4 to 7, I think. So maybe tiredness will come at the usual time around 11. Yeah, if you're eating white sauce pasta, Coke is the thing to go with it. I also spoke to my mom today. Those are, I wanted to ask out of, I mean, yeah, thanks for asking. I did speak to my mom today. A layer of cheese over this, bake it until the cheese gets like golden on the top. Amazing. She's doing well, thanks, Don. Um, Julie, this pasta, what day is it? Thursday. On Tuesday, I cooked okra stew. On Wednesday, I took the leftover okra stew and mixed it with pasta and I made a okra pasta. On Thursday, today, the leftover okra pasta, I made a fresh batch of pasta, white sauce, and the old okra pasta, and I mixed all three together. And this is what I'm eating at the moment. So I kind of refreshed my old pasta by adding more boiled, fresh new pasta and a white sauce. Mm, I love that, Savvy. I love that. Thanks, Stargirl. Thanks, Julie. One thing I hope you can be inspired by is how I've made vegetarian food interesting. How I continue to make it interesting day after day, even when it comes to leftovers. Maybe you've noticed some weird cooking quirks that you too would like to try. Greater appreciation for plant based food. I hope I brought that to you. How did you make the sauce? Mm, on a medium low heat, fry a tablespoon of flour in a tablespoon of fat, which could be oil or butter, whatever, or margarine, and until it becomes a white foam. Once you get to the white foam stage, add maybe a quarter cup of milk, mix it through also on medium heat, let it thicken. When it thickens, add another quarter cup milk. When it thickens, add another until you get as much sauce as you're looking for, and then season at the end with salt. Thanks, Don. What are you eating? Eating my pasta with white sauce. I don't have friends in Joburg, don't you know that? Do you ever feel lonely? I'm 99.95% satisfied with my own company, the way my life is going, and so on. That 0.05% of the time, I do sometimes crave connection, I would say. But the rest of the time, I'm happy. Are you vegetarian? Yes. In my free time, I'm usually watching a movie, drawing. Yeah. The rest of the time, I'm working on something business. I'm working on something content. I'm somewhere. I'm making content. I'm recording content. I'm editing content. I'm uploading content. That's what I'm doing most of the time. if you have the budget for olive oil, I love olive oil as a fat to use while cooking. But olive oil cannot be used with everything. Like you could make a white sauce with olive oil, but yeah, anyways, that's what I would do. I don't dream of marriage, but if the right partner comes along, I use Rama. Honestly, if I were in my luxury season, I would not be using Rama. I'd be using butter. I'd be using Moy River or literally any butter, salted or unsalted. I would also not be using sunflower oil or canola oil. I'll be using only olive oil exclusively. So I already have a vision for my luxury season in which I can abandon all of these poverty ingredients and move on. But for now, it's Rama. Julie, I love Rama Original. Personally, I'm not a fan of Rama. It feels like a chemical soup. When I look at the ingredients of Rama and I see strange things there, it's concerning for me. But knowing what my budget can handle, that's where I am at the moment. Extra virgin is unhealthy if used at high heat. Actually, I also love coconut oil. So maybe I would have my coconut oil and I would have my olive oil. Olive oil is on sale. Thanks for letting me know. I don't eat salmon, Savvy. I saw a new ad for Rama with olive oil and I thought to myself, really? Your research told you that people were looking for that? People wanted a margarine that had an olive oil flavor? There are constraints that I face in this environment, Stargirl. So, do I feel like I can live out my chef dreams here? No, not really. I can start off, I can build momentum like the way I've done, but I'm limited with freezing items, with storing frozen items, with baking, air frying, so on. Did I make sampan beans? No, I didn't make sampan beans. It tastes bad, not even olive oil flavor. Well, that's not what the lady said when she was trying her dates on ice cream. This lady was trying fried dates on ice cream and then she poured the Rama over the ice cream and I was just cringing. I was cringing like that. I was like, really? You just poured warm melted margarine chemical soup over your ice cream? It's looking weird. Um, which, by the way, I'm not bashing Rama. I do use it. Yeah. Julie, sometimes, what can I say in my life? Sometimes life has done something that I never thought would happen, and it happened. So for me, it happened to me. I think if you, I don't, I wish you well with your life. And if you ever get to a space where one day you just might wake up and, for instance, when you eat cheese, you'll be reminded that it comes out of a cow, and that will be disgusting for you. You'll never be able to eat it the same way again. That happened to me. that happened to me. The meat started looking like what it really is, flesh, and I can never see it. I cannot go back into the past mindset. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why people don't want to know how the polony is made. Not an offense to me, Julie, just sharing what made me go through that experience. Would you ever do a story time in my YouTube season? Yes, which I'm entering my YouTube season. If you've seen, I uploaded my lives and continue to do that. Weird, but you might not like it. Ever had chocolate dipped potatoes? I would take simba salt and vinegar and dip it in chocolate. I would do that. By the way, when I was younger, when I thought about chocolate chips, I actually did believe that it's chocolate potato chips or chocolate covered potato chips. I remember that memory. The way I have infinite ideas for TikTok, I have infinite ideas for YouTube. But the constraint that I face right now is that TikTok is asking for portrait and YouTube is asking for landscape. And for me to make content for portrait and landscape, I'm already handling content for all of the platforms. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. My current capacity is almost there. So I have to pace myself as I'm going. Jay, are you serious? Serious about? Let me tell you, when you take your content journey seriously, it's going to take a lot of effort from you. It really is. But it's worth it. Mm. Mm. Thanks, Tago. Chocolate coated potatoes. I would take the chip and like dip it in a chocolate and put it aside and then do another and put it aside and do another and put it aside. But the per unit price of that item, because it's individually made, especially if I made the chips myself, if I made the chips myself on fresh potatoes, double fry, if I seasoned it well, if I used quality chocolate and the chocolate was tempered and you really get a snap from that, I could probably price that really, really high as a premium luxury item. But these are not things that I think about in this season. Like when I have that $50,000 budget or $100,000 budget to create whatever I want, that will be my space for play, freedom, experimentation, exploration, and so on. So I look forward to that. Jazzy Jade, I don't watch videos about me. Why, what value would it add? It doesn't. Think about how many, yeah, I don't even like to talk about this topic. Let's move on. It doesn't need my attention. What are you eating? Pasta with white sauce. Somebody said, I read a comment recently. Yeah, don't really concern myself with what other people think. I watched this video recently of like, life is not a Nigerian movie where if people dislike you, you failed. It's not like that. So when I step into my authenticity, when I choose to be myself, when I choose to express myself, when I choose to live life on my terms, when I choose to take control over my destiny and think about the life that I want to build and the meaningful, positive impact that I want to have in the world, knowing that I'm doing that on a daily basis, regardless of what people think about me, regardless of what people say about me, regardless of how people perceive me, knowing that I am authentically myself and in alignment brings me so much joy, so much satisfaction, and so much pleasure that it's worth it. Part of you putting yourself out there will have people say weird things here, there. And you see it in, I watched Jake Weber's stream where he's giving gifts to Tara Yami. And one thing that she mentioned, I think she just crossed 2 million subscribers on YouTube this year. One thing Tara Yami spoke about is that, like, wish my haters could see me now. And when I watch Tara Yami, I never think that this girl has haters. I think you're so beautiful and talented, and look what you've created out of sharing your journey on social media. 2 million subscribers on YouTube is not a joke. But to see that deep down inside, I didn't know that that is something that comes to our attention, that there are haters. And when you look at Kylie Jenner, you look at Cyril Ramaphosa, you look at Donald Trump, you look at Barack Obama, look at politicians, look at celebrities, look at actors, look at Meghan Markle, for instance. There are actual accounts on X that the things they post about Meghan Markle are so angry. You would think that this person once had a relationship with her. They know her personally, but they don't. They're just so angry. So I never take anybody's opinions into account. And I think, my TikTok got that relatively early, that I never take anybody's opinions into account. What matters to me is what I think of myself. What matters to me is, do I like myself? What matters to me is that, do I live a life worth living? And that's important to me. So nothing anybody can say will change my life. It won't. And I'm happy and I'm satisfied with that. What matters to me is that when I wake up in the morning, am I happy with who I am? And I am. Mic drop. Thanks, Targo. Don't let anybody bring you down. I often the idea of, did you hear what that person said? It's very playground. What you're trying to do here? You're trying to put two people against each other. You're trying to create insecurity, anxiety, and animosity. So I'm also wary, somebody who mentioned it here, I'm also wary of you who watches those videos. Are you the type of fan of Sean that when you see one video, you scroll and you watch the next one, and you watch the next one, and you watch the next one? Because if you are, then it's best for me to know to stay away from you. You should become a motivational speaker. You want to hire me? Hire me. You know what, Starger? It's going to be so challenging to change something that you have not accepted in the first place. So when you look at your body in the mirror, can you say to yourself, this is who I am now? I accept it. I may not like it. I may not love it. I may not be dancing in a field of sunflowers, but this is who I am now. This is the body I have. Let's see. Okay, let this be the starting point. Because sometimes with body image issues, I can tell you this, when we look in the mirror, we don't see what's there. We see what we wish, we see what we want, we see what we never had, we see everything other than what's really there. And until you truly see what's really there, and you say, thank you, body, for serving me. Thank you for being here, present. You're still functioning. You might be inhibited in some ways, but still you're functioning, you're thriving. Thank you for being here. Okay, now from this state, what can we do? That's how I see it. That's how I started to love my body. Please try it. It's chili cheese toasty. Yeah. I used to hate my body. You know, it was a family conditioning to hate your body. And even when I would tell others that I love my body, they would look at me like, how can you love that? This is the body I have. I know my spirit doesn't look like this. I'm wearing a Sean outfit for now. And Sean, thanks so much for serving me. The genetics of this body is ancient. You know, the Tamils are some of the original people, you know, some of the founders of humanity. So to be able to still have genetics that tie back there, plus some of the spiritual things they were doing, like experiencing God, writing all of these beautiful texts, creating these temples, I'm so glad to have this body. It's not perfect, of course. There are some challenges, but it works very well. It works really, really well. And with self-love, it works 10 times better. Like, if I was only going to the gym to change my body out of self-hatred, that's very different to going to the gym to change your body out of some positive outcome. I want to see the potential. I want to see what you can do. I want to see how far we can take this. That's a very different attitude. The worst part is there's stunning girls. Yeah, you are comparing yourself. I think there's two things there. Stunning is not about a body. Or is it? It sounds like it's about a body for you. It sounds that if somebody is considered stunning, you're first referring to their body. Are there stunning girls that have different types of bodies? And the insecurity part, it's sounding like you're comparing yourself to other people. You're making them important in your life. That's unnecessary. I even think about that now, that when you take somebody's opinion into account, you bring them into your narrative. They now are a supporting character in your life. They are now inside your script and they're part of your plot. So you can completely not have that by thinking broader and thinking bigger. Someday I'll have 6 million followers. And when I do, there will be like 50 videos made about me a day. So growing up in a space where I was constantly criticized, being bullied in high school, social anxiety in university, dealing with fucked up people in corporate, and then coming to social media and seeing this type of attitude that I've seen many times before, I think it's not a tough skin. Don't talk about tough skin. You don't want to develop psoriasis or any of that. I think it's more about recognize that their opinions never meant anything in the first place. It didn't, and it doesn't. There's no tangible physical impact to what people think about you. And sometimes you don't have confirmation that they're even thinking about you. So when you think somebody's thinking about you, you are thinking the bad thought about yourself, and in your mind, it's wearing somebody else's face. So you now are thinking bad thoughts about yourself, thinking that other people are thinking that. That's so unnecessary. Instead, most people are thinking about themselves. Most people are concerned about themselves. If somebody is taking the time, effort, attention, and energy to give your life that much attention, There's an obsessive aspect about it there. And just rising to prominence in the social media, I think in humanity, you pull out people who are triggered by seeing you display characteristics that they feel like they cannot. So when you have that understanding, you don't let anything stop you from fulfilling your life's mission, from being seen, from putting yourself out there, and from going after what you want. Savvy. Do you know if you're related? I don't know. I don't know. There are people that do know. I don't know about that specifically. Thanks, Jay. How's the pasta? It was delicious. You saw, I don't have complaints about it. Even in its blandness, it's what you expect from a white sauce pasta. If I wanted sharpness, I would have added a sharp cheese, something like a Parmesan, Gouda, or whatever. As a final note, I also told you that the war on consciousness is a war to snuff out the light. So if you imagine that your zest for life, your vitality, your will to live, imagine that it's a lamp. You're holding that lamp and you're going throughout life. There are people that are actively trying to snuff out the flame. You got to watch out. That when the flame is gone, you're entering suicide territory. When the flame is out, your will to live is gone, your vitality is gone, you're entering suicide territory. So just know that keeping the flame lit, regardless of what the circumstances of life are, is very, very important. There are people in your life that try to dim that flame, dim your light when you were younger. It might have been in school, it might have been family. They do it actively in workplaces when you are dominated and controlled, when you're gaslit, all of these weird things that are happening. People are trying to put out your light. And the light, there's so many references to light. I am the light of the world. The light is keeping you alive. If you let it go out, it's an injustice to you and your life. How do you deal with someone who hurt you? Well, with me, I went no contact with everybody. I moved on because I saw that I was growing as a person, but every time I interacted with them, they would repeat the traumatic trigger. So I'm always taking steps back. And for me to be a truer or more authentic, freer person, I need to cut out all those people. So I did that. But if you care about this person, I would communicate to them directly what it is that they did that hurt you. And notice the response. Is it, I can see how I hurt you and I apologize and I won't do it again? Or is it, well, you made me do it? Or look at what you've done? Or I didn't say anything like that. If you're dealing with somebody who can't acknowledge or won't acknowledge that for you, it's better to move on from that. Imagine early in your relationship, you're trying to resolve a dispute and the person can't take responsibility for their behavior. What happens later? Don't act on somebody's potential, act on who they're showing you that they are. So in relationships, I remember speaking about a friend who would always tell me that he loved me, but would not want to hug me. You're excited about me on the first day, and the rest of the time, I'm friend number 5 on your list. You're telling me you got a life, you don't have time for me, all of these things. Who they were really showing me was somebody that's uninterested. Who they were telling me they were was somebody who loves me a lot. Telling me and showing me are two different things. I'm going to go with what you're showing me. Is that your actions show me that you don't really care about me. And I'm going to go on that and I'm going to move on. What's for supper? My pasta, it was delicious. I'm very satisfied and I'm very impressed with that. Like yesterday, I was concerned by the okra pasta lacking flavor, but the creaminess of what I've done here, it made this meal worth eating. Okay, I'm gonna look for a movie to watch, um, and I'm gonna enjoy that. Thanks, Dago. I'm glad. I'm glad. Mm, something that helped me, meditation. So if you want to learn how to meditate, I have a meditation course. I have a meditation ebook. So check those out. Observing your mind, observing your thoughts, they're very important. Do you have dessert? I feel full actually. That's the portion size was large. So if I do eat dessert, um, what should it be? I have papaya in the fridge. I have plums. I have nachos, and I have one banana. I'm not. I'm not really craving any of those. Thanks, Tamara. Thank you for that. Not craving any of those. Mm, you know what? Julie's peanut butter sandwich. If you've ever had Julie's peanut butter sandwich, which I haven't showed you on live, I haven't showed you on a video about Julie's peanut butter sandwich, but I found it recently. Let's Google. Let's Google Julie's peanut butter sandwich. You know I love peanut butter. I love Kit Kat chunky peanut butter variant. I love Black Cat, the red one. I love Black Cat, the green one, which has rice and it's like a bit more crispier. I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I love, you saw I bought a 1 kg peanut butter, which I eat with those ginger cakes. And now I discovered Julie's peanut butter sandwiches. Ah, wow. 6 rand. 6 rand at game. Or there's a bigger one, 42.95 at Macro. If you ever, yes, Jungle Oats peanut butter bar. I thought I mentioned that one. That's also one. I don't know any other peanut butter items. But if you ever find Julie's peanut butter cream sandwich biscuit, you better get that. If you're a fan of peanut butter, you better get that. Because I just discovered it. I just went to a random shop here and I'm seeing it. I'm like, what's this? Something peanut butter. Let's try it. Okay. Skippy peanut butter. Do they even make that anymore? Let me show you what it looks like. This is Julie's peanut butter sandwich. It's not really 42.95 if you're just buying the small pack. The small pack is 6 rand. If you ever see this and you're a fan of peanut butter, you better get this because it will change your life. Just like peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cups. When I first discovered Reese's peanut butter cups, they changed my life. This one. It's like salty, if salty cracks had a peanut butter filling. That's almost what it's like. I bought it at a random shop. A random shop. It's like if mini cheddars were neutral salt flavor, and they had a peanut butter inside. Yeah, it's definitely like if salty cracks had peanut butter. Ah, so good. I could go buy some right now. I'm glad, Jay. Find it. You saw it at Macro. I don't know where Macro is. Somebody said you need a card to access Macro. My life is eternal, and so is my journey. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Why do the haters look like them? Their fathers never loved them. This one looks like he didn't have loving parents. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go now. If I do get dessert, maybe it'll be like a small chocolate or something. I've been seeing those, those chocolates you buy. You know those chocolates you buy when you finish primary school and you come out of the school, and then there are people in a trolley selling you those like 3 block chocolates that when you taste them, you wonder what's this. I've been seeing that at the shop and it's been piquing my interest. So maybe I'll go try that one. Okay, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my. No, I'm not scared. Thanks, Michael. I hope you enjoyed me eating dinner. My creamy pasta with white sauce. The one with the transparent wrapper, exactly that one. It comes in pink, white, mint chalk, and an original chalk, which tastes like baking chocolate, kind of. I want to go see if it really does taste like that. Okay, catch this recap on YouTube when I upload it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. You can get all of my lives on there, all of my live replays. Click the link in my bio, see if there's something there for you. My YouTube is Sean Marbir. So subscribe to my YouTube. It's in the link in my bio, yes. Thanks for joining, Marge. If you ever feel discouraged about people having opinions, just remember that One Direction made a song, and part of some of the lyrics of that song is like, nobody can drag me down. I mean, if One Direction had haters, who am I? I'm yet to, reach those levels of prominence. So I gotta ignore it now so I can ignore it later. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again next time. Follow me if you're not already following. I post content regularly and I post a whole lot of fun stuff, especially for free spirited individuals. If you're a solo journey individual, it's evening savvy. If you're into solo journeys, if you're into free spirit ideology, if you're into vegetarian cuisine, spirituality, meditation, and more, this is where you can find it. And yeah, thanks for being here. Take care. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.